Hey guys, it is NS8102 Productions here, otherwise known as West Slope Rail, standing on my alternate channel. Today we are going to be exploring this section of the Norfolk Southern Sonman branch. We're actually following the original route of the Pennsylvania Railroad through Portage here. If you look behind us, that green and tan building is the original freight station. If we continue walking, you'll notice this giant pile of railroad ties sitting here. These just so happen to be from the original Pennsylvania Railroad line. There was originally 3 tracks, but if you look up there, there's only 2. Now we're gonna hop up here and explore. You gotta kind of watch yourself out here because there's lots of stuff that could freak you up. There's possibilities of snakes and all kinds of stuff you don't want to run into. Then there's also rock formations and wait, what the heck? Oh wait, that's a white wall tire over there. Okay, never mind. And as you can see here, this switch does not have a lock on it. Obviously, I'm not going to pull it because I'm not Sebastian DeYoung, but, anyways, let's continue up the line here. I'm going to step over to Switch Diamond here. I'm going to follow the tracks for a little while. There's a curve up here. It's far ways up. So I'm going to go ahead and just point the camera forward so you guys can get a nice view of the railroad line as I walk through it. And just enjoy the sounds and the sights of the Norfolk Southern, former Pennsylvania Railroad, Sonman branch. It's a housing development up in there. You can see the stuff from spikes on the ground. We're going to keep walking. Actually, I'm going to hop off the tracks and onto this service road because it's a lot less. And that right there is sand. That was probably carried in the sandbox of a SD70 model of some variety, because those are the locomotives that usually run this line up and down from the coal mine. I'm hoping I'm going to be able to get up to the coal mine before it gets dark so I can show you guys what that looks like. But it's a little ways past this curve up here. So we're just going to keep on walking along this old service road. As you can see, there's all kinds of old stuff sitting around. Like, based on how rusted and thin and worn this thing is, it was probably put in around the Pennsylvania Railroad era. So that's an interesting find. Anyways, if you follow the tracks like I have, you can make your way down that path and go to our local grocery store, which you can see through the trees there. Or if you keep going up further and keep following the service road, you'll end up at the coal mine. And then, if you go farther, you'll either end up in the small mining town of Jimtown or a small mining town of Ben's Creek, which are two very prominent mines back whenever the mining operations here were still in business. Now, the Sonman mine, which I'm about to show you, just so happens to still be in business. And today, it is closed. So, you're not going to be able to see any locomotives and cars getting filled up at the mine, but you are going to be able to see the sheer size. And this right here, I have no idea what this is. It's like an old handle off something. Just picked it up off the ground. Don't know what it is. It's cool though. I'm gonna put it back. Alright. And the farther you go up these tracks, we're gonna be able to, if we make it to Gintown before it gets dark, we're gonna be able to rail fan for a little bit. You can see how far we've come. Down there's town. Just that little dot down there, that's Portage. As you can see, we're coming up on the curve, so I'm gonna hop back up on the rails here. Actually, the train's coming from the other way. You always gotta be safe when you're on the railroad tracks, because you never know when a locomotive might come down. And you know, I don't really want to say it because I feel like YouTube would demonetize me. But let's just hope a train doesn't come down and turn me into a big, nice red splat on the ground. Now we're approaching the curve. It's only a couple hundred feet ahead. We're almost there. Tracks will start to bend in about 200 feet, close to 200, somewhere around there. But I've ridden my bike here many times. And I found lots of things. As most rail fans, I collect railroad spikes. And sitting along the tracks here, since up in here you can find a lot of PRR artifacts, I so happened to find a near perfect condition Pennsylvania Railroad spike. You can tell by the lettering on top that it's from the Pennsy, but my camera just does not like to focus that much, so I'm not going to be able to show you guys, but it is a Pennsylvania Railroad spike. Coming up on the curve. This is essentially our little horseshoe curve, as we like to call it. And if we go far enough, and come around this turn. Feels like I've been walking forever, but in reality, I've only been walking for about 10 minutes. And it's taken me that long to get here. But we're going to go ahead and there goes some guy on a side-by-side. Service road is also used by most people who drive side-by-sides as a way to get up to their hunting spots up here. But if you follow the railroad tracks, we follow it side-by-side, as long as you can still hear the sound of it, that's how you know you're close to where the coal mine is. You can see part of the tipple for the trees there. So we're almost there. Now what we're going to want to do, we're just going to want to, and a quick tip, if you ever get lost on railroad tracks, you're going to want to follow them. Because usually, railroad tracks lead to civilization. And if you keep hearing a slight clanking noise, it's just a railroad spike in my pocket. Now we're almost up past the curve. Right up here's where it curves real sharp. And then we'll be able to walk right through the coal mine. Now we're almost around the curve. Now these tracks keep curving up here. I'm gonna have to stop here for a sec. Alright, I am now going to continue up to the mine, which is still producing coal. You can see it right up there. I'm going to stop here for a second so I can zoom in and show you guys. It is closed, yet it is still producing coal. And there is people on duty. I do happen to know a couple of the workers up this way, so they should be able to recognize who I am. And that's a bird. Now we're almost to where we want to be. You can see it there. There's a couple blue buildings and a railroad crossing, which we are going to want to cross. Now, as you can also see, we're also coming up on a switch. You can see over here, there's a sign. I'm going to go over and read it. Keep out, no trespassing, risk of drowning. Yeah, I can see why. It's a giant pool. Definitely don't want to go in there. So we're just going to keep going straight right alongside it so we don't. Now, as I said, this line isn't fully abandoned. It's still used by Norfolk Southern. You can see up there on that sit box, the light is lit. So that means that we could possibly get some action here. Now here, we're getting up close to the mine, which I will show you a bit of from the outside, as it's very, very dangerous to get anywhere near these things. So I'm going to show you from a distance what the mine looks like. And, oh my god, still water. Okay, never mind. That was a stupid joke, but you get what I mean. You don't want to step in that. And you're also not going to want to stand too close to that, as it is caustic. Don't know what that means, but based on how it says danger, it's most likely deadly. So I'm just gonna keep on trucking. Now this is the tipple. Actually, that's not the tipple, that's just a coal loading station. But right there is where they load all the cars full of coal and everything. Over in there is Doc's Blocks, which is just a cinder block factory. And if we move far enough up and go up that road, up there's a good rail fanning spot. Alright, there's the coal loading station. Where there's the mountain of concrete at Doc's Blocks. And we're gonna wanna cross the road here so I can get a good shot at a mine for you guys. Now, right there's the mine. This mine was put into place back in the early 1970s, I want to say, is when they rebuilt it. And if you move far enough over and you look up in, that thing, that big giant building up in there with the Rosebud Coal logo on it, that is the Sonman tipple. that produces most of the coal around here. Now, the Sonman branch continues over there, but I'm not willing to go on the actual trackage itself because this section proves itself to be a little bit rickety. So I'm going to just go ahead and keep on walking. As right up here is a bridge where you can see all the trains from. And once I get there, I'll upload another video. As at the moment, that is the end of our adventure on the Pennsylvania Railroad Martin branch. I sure hope you guys enjoyed it. And as always, like and subscribe. And that is all. So, NS8102 Productions, out, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.